Oh, I love that so much. How's it going, Rachelle?
It's going great. I'm good at the timing now because I wait for the lips. Wait for the lips. And I'm like, oh wait, we're on. Listening lips.
I wish I could put lips like this on a regular basis.
You probably
I just love
could.
them.
Just,
Yes.
you know.
So, how are you doing today?
I'm good. It's Friday and get to see you. We have a fantastic guest today. So highlights of my weeks are Mondays and Fridays around 5 o'clock. So
Heck yeah, this
how
was
are
an
you?
incredible week.
Yeah.
Gosh, and hopefully the Chiefs will win this weekend, and it'll be like in a week that I'll never forget.
Wait,
So,
what's this weekend?
the playoffs, the playoffs are
I was
continuing.
kidding.
We're playing the
I was
Bills.
like, is it
So
the Super Bowl? And I was kidding. I was totally
no.
kidding.
One thing that we have to mention is that there was like a plethora of birthdays in our community this week, like
I
an
know.
amazing, incredible amount of birthdays. So, you know what I got to do, right?
I have a feeling. Better
All
you
right.
than me.
Okay, who do we sing to? Okay, Mandy had it on Monday.
That's right.
Linnell, Dr. Joy
Dr.
is
Joy
having it today.
Yep. Yep.
We had several other people.
I've
There was
had like 20 since like 20 between yesterday and today.
right.
Yeah,
So if
there's a
you're
lot.
watching and your birthday was this week, I'm going to sing to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Go, Mel.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. I mean, it was
And many
like,
more.
and many more on Channel 4 and Scooby-Doo on Channel 2.
Oh,
People were getting
my
busy
God.
10 months ago, like today is a big day for birthdays. I was looking on my birthday list and I can't even tell. I had like 10. My friend Amy's birthday is today. Amy, if you're watching, happy birthday. Do you want to give any shout outs? Is your Aunt Val watching today?
I don't know. I hope so. The other day she sent I told you, she sent a message right after since we were talking about raccoons. And so, yeah, I think probably Aunt Val and Marianne and Jim are hopefully watching. So,
Hey, Marianne and Jim, Aunt Val. Yes. Oh my gosh. It's so cool. It's been a great big birthday week. And right before we went live, like 10 minutes ago, there was a knock on my door, and I just want to go live with this because I want to give him a shout out. I am speaking at ASTI, and that's the Alaska ISTE. It literally is like the affiliate Alaska. Look at this. They are sending if you signed up, oops, things are falling out. Can you believe this? Who does this? I got
that's
tea.
awesome.
Like this something ASTI and oh my gosh. I just think every conference should do this for all attendees. Okay. I got a beautiful I better put this down. It's going to fall out of my hands. But look at this. I got a beautiful coffee cup, Go Global.
Nice.
Yes. I got chocolates and other things that I don't know what they are, but I just got this. That just made me so happy to get that. And also, can I give another shout out?
Am I giving the same shout out? Can I? Yeah.
You want to do it at the same time?
No, you can do it first.
Here, no, get it, and we'll put it up at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
I think so.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Is this the same one? Yes, I got this amazing book from Courtney Farua, and so we've had her on, and she's joined us for a holiday party, and I'm going to have her on a book chat pretty soon. So, Courtney, thank you so much. And for the sweet note, I'm grateful for you also.
Yeah. Amazon didn't give me a note in mine, I don't think.
No.
At least I got the right book. I got the right books this time.
She's autographed mine. Are you jealous? Oh my God, look at this.
I am jealous, of course.
Oh my God,
look, you got all of them.
Signatures.
You got all of them. Yep, all 3.
Yes, all those. Yes, from Katie Barker, Courtney Farua, and Rachel George.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I'm so excited.
Very nice.
Yes. All right. Well, all the shout outs. Is there any shout outs you want to give?
Oh yeah, I do actually. I do want to give amongst my books for my Amazon. I'll give some more later, but I had ordered and I forgot. I was so excited last week that I had gotten this one by Mandy Kralik. I meant to say this on Monday, but I had gotten it last week. The Educator's Matchbook. I tell you what, we had and the reason I meant to say it on Monday is because we had that PD day, which we started talking about like self-care and mindfulness. And it was a huge conversation for like an hour that one of the guidance counselors was kind of leading. And so that's going to be part of days coming up. And even actually on weekends, they're going to set things up. And so people were looking for ideas. And I love this book from Mandy because it has, if you haven't seen it, but it has like benefits of meditation. It has like week of, and there's just, you can write in it. There's like free space to write in. Yeah. So there is a space for like free your mind, which is on the other
Free
side.
your mind, and the rest will follow. Okay.
I'll lip sync. Yeah. And then there's like a weekly wrap up.
Nice.
And then there are like mindfulness plan reflections. So there's like different activities and things, that you can go through. A lot of images and graphics, but I really like that it has, week of, and then on that page, it has things about, goals, struggles, reflections. And then there's like emotion tracking at the bottom, if you can see the little emoji.
Yes.
So
I love
it's
that.
really, really great. So and it has space in the back for journaling too. So for anybody who's looking for a book where you can like doodle and put down goals and you want kind of an all-in-one, then I would say grab Mandy's Educator's Matchbook.
Oh, I love it. It reminds me of this one journal I got that has a whole bunch of cuss words in it. Like, it looks fun.
Totally same thing. Totally sounds like spot on. Same thing.
I have this terrible piece of hair that's just going to be my enemy for this whole thing. Oh my gosh, guys, pretend it's not. Okay, well,
Maybe
oh
you
no,
put the hat
making
back
it
on.
worse. It's like that student that you should just like embrace. This is what happens when you single somebody out, and you know what I mean? Like, they come, okay, oh my gosh. This is terrible. Okay, forget about my hair because I can't fix it.
I can't though.
Okay, oh gosh.
I'm kidding. You're fine.
No.
Well, okay, will it make you feel better if I do this?
Okay, stop it. If you're still watching us, thank you so much for joining in. Yeah. Whether it's from our Facebook community or Twitter or YouTube, we are so glad you're here. And I apologize for my weird hair. We have a great... Stop it.
I'm in tears.
This is so, I'm just going to be like this.
Bring our guest on. Maybe we'll calm down.
We have an amazing guest. One of my favorite people. I haven't known her but a few months, but she's one of my new favorite people. She is sunshine. She's lemonade. Get it? Lemonade. I hope that you'll take time to follow her on Twitter.
Learning.
Yes. We're going to bring up Miss Lainie Rowell. How are you?
Oh, I'm happy because I'm with you two.
Yeah.
I'm here with you two. And
welcome to Shenanigans. Hey, and this is your second time on our Thrive. I mean, you've been with us like for our 2 specials, but this is your second time here. So yay.
It's like when I'm not with you for a period of time, I have withdrawal. So I'm glad to be back. Mel, your hair looks great.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Well, we don't have to worry about my hair. I feel like I pressured it enough to.
Marianne said crazy girls.
Yes.
Funny.
For real. So what's up with you? Show us your book. We pulled out all these books. You have a beautiful book.
Oh, thank you. Hopefully.
And I need it.
I'll send you. Send me your address.
Okay. I will. I'll send you a copy of my book too.
Please do. That would be awesome.
Yes. Tell us about your book. Tell us about your background. Like, share with us.
Okay. So I've been in education for 23 years. And yeah, I know. It's hard because
you look like you're 12. Just kidding. You look beautiful. That was not 12, 20.
Getting off then. But I've been an educator for a very long time. Like, forever. I obviously started out in the classroom. I taught kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 6th grade, and not in that order. I actually went from kinder to 6th and then back down to 1st grade and looped class from 1st grade to 2nd grade while I was a teacher opening a new school, part of a team opening a new school. So that was a lot of fun. I actually went into education because I wanted to teach special ed. And I had a family friend that said, don't do that because once you go special ed, they'll never let you leave. So go do general ed and then you can go into special ed. And just through my experiences, I ended up at a school with not a ton of technology, but new technology. And I got really excited with how technology could help all learners, whether they'd been identified as special needs or not. So, and then really got into, like I said, using technology to amplify, and ended up working at a district office, and then just, I don't know, lots of experiences. I could go on and on, but I don't want to bore anyone who's watching. So I ended up
not boring at all. Did you say though, like kindergarten for a second?
Yes.
Yeah,
I went from kindergarten to 6th grade, back down to 1st grade. Then she looped to 2nd grade.
Yeah, and the loop was from, so it was my 1st grade, half of them were moving to a new school. It was, the new school had been built and half was going to go to the new school. And I was hired to go to the new school. So I took my half of my first graders that were going to go to the new school, I took them. So I actually had like a looped class, but I also had some new students in there.
Right.
And
I've looped, and that's what happens. You do get some new people, but the majority, like I when I looped 4th and 5th grade, I love it. I would do it again if I could. And I want to give a happy hello to Alfonso. It's so good. Thank you for joining us. And anybody else, tell us how you're doing and what's up on this wonderful Thrive O'Clock on Friday. Well, so cool. And tell us a little bit about your book.
Yep. So the book, I won't make it drawn out, but there is a long origin story of that because it's something that I started back in 2014, but I didn't know it was going to be a book. Alan November asked me to do a keynote at his conference, and he said he wanted me to do it on professional learning. And I thought, well, that's interesting because I don't usually speak on professional learning. I do professional learning. I facilitate professional learning. But he gave me a lot of lead time. I had almost a year to think about it. And so I just spent that whole year thinking, like, how do I learn professionally? And I just ended up thinking like, well, I learned from kids, I learned from my peers, and I learned from the world. And so kind of use that as a framework to write this book about how can we learn from kids, excuse me, how can we learn from our peers? And these are things that I think we often do, but the book's about being really intentional with it and being really thoughtful in how we can commit to an area of focus in like a cycle of inquiry and improve on it. Because I don't know about you, but that's something I tend to have to really work on is finding a focus and sticking with it to improve on a practice. And so the book, so Corwin happened to be at that conference and they approached me about writing about professional learning. So I was like, wow, I mean, I feel like people are telling me I should write about professional learning. And so I dragged my feet for about 2 years. And then I got some co-authors who motivated me and made the book infinitely better. And it was really interesting because there's themes in there that we didn't start out with in mind. And so cycles of inquiry was a huge thing that came out from the process. Oh, we have a visitor. I love that. And then the other thing that came out that we didn't intentionally set out, but it just ended up being a theme was social emotional learning. And so that's woven throughout the entire book. And so I just am, it dropped the week of shelter in place here in the States.
Wow.
That was an interesting thing because it was such a journey to get it out. And then
yes.
No crying on the yacht. I got to work with amazing authors, a great publisher, and we got the book out and I'm very proud of the book. So champagne problems. But it was like 6 years of that. And then as you all know, Lemonade Learning happened like a month after the book dropped. And that's, for those who don't know, that's my podcast with Bree Hodges. And so that was like, it was just a pivotal moment because I was like, okay, I spent all that time just crafting this highly curated, like polished thing. And then this happens. And now I'm like, I'm just going to learn out loud. We're just going to do the podcast. I'm just going to be out there and learn in front of everyone. So I'm really happy to have both of those things. I feel like they balance each other.
Yes.
I love the words that you use too. Like I need to write them down. Like the way that you say that. Would you say there's no crying on a yacht? Like I gotta write this down.
Yep.
Champagne problems. I liked that too. And it's true. But and it's okay to still be disappointed. My book came out like a month before. And honestly, a lot of us that had books that came out close to the pandemic, it really did affect our sales. I mean, and it's okay to be disappointed in that because you put your heart into something. You want it to be in the hands of a lot of people. And it can be disappointing, but you're right. Champagne problems. We still have everything we need. We're happy people.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like no one goes in, well, at least most people don't go in to write a book to make a lot of money because that doesn't usually out. Like we're not about the money. We feel like we have something to share. And we talk in the book, like we start out saying like, we didn't write this book because we had all the answers. It was that we wanted answers. So the book was actually our cycle of inquiry about how can we do the best to improve our practice. And so it was
well, your birthday's coming up soon, so I need to get you on my book chat. I have a question for both of you, okay? And I've been talking about this in a Voxer group. I am with Dr. Nick Sutton. He's an EduMatch author, and I'm going to contribute to one of his books soon. And we were talking about like our writing habits. We didn't talk about this beforehand, but when you're talking about your book, it made me remember. And I wanted to ask you, what do you guys do? Do you like write in one lump sum and you just hammer it out, or do you like schedule time? What do you guys do?
Well, I think Rachelle has better practices than I do, but I tend to I find like dedicated chunks of time and I say, this will be writing time, and I try very, very hard to protect it. But it does get pushed, and that's like a big problem for me. The other thing is I don't drink caffeine like almost ever. And so if I want to write, I will drink caffeine, and I am like, you don't want to be around me on caffeine. It's intense. So that like just gets my brain all firing. And those are like the best writing sessions I ever have. Hopped up on caffeine. Those are my 2 strategies. All right, Rachelle, you bring in the good stuff.
Hey, Jen led. Hello to Jen. Yeah, the writing thing, I don't know. It's like all over the place because the types of writing that I'm doing. So I've got different blogs that I'm working on, and then the different books that I'm working on or whatever. But my little hacks, I'll write at any point. I've been trying lately to kind of at night to sit down and write, but it's not happening. Like I do have a book due in about 2.5 weeks, and I'm not going to tell you how not far done I am.
Is that book number 7 or 8?
Yeah, that's 7. Yeah, that's 7. So
good job, Mel. It's hard to keep track.
It is hard.
Well, there probably won't be any more after 7. 7 will be
lucky 7.
Lucky 7. But I just haven't had success because like with school, with right now, with hybrid, it's really hard. And then it's we have to give midterm exams, which it's hard to give an assessment, like an exam in a Spanish course when most of the kids are not there. So I made up a project. So I have like 120 projects that are, essays and slideshows and a mix or whatever. So I have all that to do, and then trying to, create things for them. So it definitely has gotten pushed back. But normally I try to set aside time, whether it's I sit down and I just open up the document and I talk. I very rarely sit down and actually type. I don't really take a lot of notes. I might put ideas on Post-its. Uh-oh. I might have a guest here in a second. Maybe not. Okay. But I will sometimes go for the walk in the neighborhood. And if I'm thinking about something, or if I know that there's a topic that I'm trying to write about, then I'll just go and I'll walk and talk and let it go into that. And I might come back, and there are times that, I have 2,000 words. And I can't remember if I told Fonz the other day because I was on his podcast or not, but I said to somebody, yeah, this book that needs to be done really soon, I had not really started. And so back in December, I was really proud because one day I set out and I just walked around, talked, everything. And at the end of that, I had 10,000 words.
Yep.
However, I had to chop a lot of it because a lot of it was just like bogus, repeated. I couldn't figure out what I'd actually said and it put onto the document. But I felt like, okay, I have like 7,000 words. I need to fix it. But it gave me that like big jump over, okay, I have nothing done, to I have something that's probably pretty terrible, but at least I've got something.
Well, and Rachelle, you did on Lemonade Learning, and you gave so many tips. And that was one of my favorite tips, is that you do a lot of dictation. Mm-hmm. And that's like such a great idea because, there's research to support, when you're walking and stuff like that. So I think those are really good practices. If I was to write another book, I would definitely implement some of those practices.
Yeah. I've never did dictation or anything, even on text messages. I'm scared about that. I know it sounds weird. And every once in a while it happens on accident, and I'm freaked out because it's full of cuss words and I have to like delete it before it's sent. Yeah, totally. Jennifer says that she writes when she's kidless. I have to also, it is so hard for me to think around here. Yeah. And we're trying to plan a writing retreat. So I don't know if y'all are interested. Anybody who writes, another person and I, Amanda Fox, she's an educator and author. We're trying to get like a writer's retreat where, you can be at your house if you have a really great place, or, go rent a hotel room, and we're going to Zoom. We're going to be on Zoom, and we can just get feedback if we want from each other. So this is something that is in the works. I'll let you know more about it, but I have to get away. Like I cannot write here. It is when I write my blogs, it's always after my kids are asleep or something, or watching TV. I just can't. It's just really hard. And yeah, after 7, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. After 7, they get easier to write. I need a writing retreat.
I wouldn't know.
I guess from last year.
Yes.
Or the times that I've gone, that's the only reasons I've really gone to Nashville when I've gone. But it's just been so nice to be in that space with another group that's holding you accountable, but that you can also go and have fun with. So, yeah.
I want to go to Vegas for a writing retreat.
Yeah, you wouldn't be writing. I'm sure.
Sure I would.
Doubt it.
I get the shows at night. Like I don't go to Vegas to gamble. I go to Vegas to, have a day at the spa, get my makeup done, and then go to like Boys to Men or go to some great show, eat a lot. I mean, so during the day I would have,
Like an
time
hour.
maybe. Who cares? Like I just want to go to Vegas. I
mean, all roads lead to Vegas. Anytime anything comes up, Mel somehow brings it back to going to Vegas.
Just like me with Nashville.
I know my Nashville is Vegas. What is your place, Lainie?
Oh, that's a woo.
You think
Okay.
if you're watching, what is the place that you want to go to that when the world gets better and you don't have to feel guilty for leaving? Where do you want to go?
Okay, so this is going to be a lame answer, but so my dad was a pilot and my mom was a flight attendant. And so when I became a consultant and I got on planes.
So romantic.
I mean, they're not still together, but yeah, sure. It's so romantic while they were together. He is now with someone who was also in airlines. But anyways, so there was no overlap. Don't worry. But I actually grew up on planes. So as much as I love that I'm not missing putting my kids to bed any night since COVID, I miss just traveling in general. And there's a lot of icky, dirty about traveling. Like planes have always kind of like, as far as hygiene, kind of grossed me out. Like when I get home from a trip, the suitcase doesn't come in the house. It stays in the garage. The clothes go directly from suitcase I'm a bit of a freak in the hotel room, wiping the remote down and stuff like that. But I just miss the experience of going to new places and seeing new things. Cause I like to travel in general. I don't have like a one spot.
Yeah, me too. And I didn't fly for 21 years, which is funny. Yeah.
Wow.
And then
you were 21 years old the first time, or you flew?
No, I flew like for like a long time. I mean, as a kid, at high school, college, and then just stopped flying. Was afraid to fly, and 21 years went by, and then ISTE was in Denver, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to get there really fast from Pittsburgh unless I get on a plane. So I did. And then since then, I've flown by myself and I enjoy it. I mean, am I nervous? Oh yeah, all the time. But it's like, you think about the place that you're going and people you're going to see or what the experience is, but that whole kind of packing, getting everything ready, and it's nice. And I miss it too.
I know I miss it. I just miss getting away. Like I have gotten to a point where I like being by myself. Like I am not afraid to be by myself. I'm not afraid to travel. I'm not afraid to eat, go to a movie. And I guess it's because I'm always with people and they get on my nerves. No, I love my family, but I'm just saying to have some alone time. I really do love my family. I'm such a mean mom. I shouldn't say that.
No.
And I remember, gosh, I think it was from a movie. I think it was Tina Fey said something like, it was something like her husband was worried she was having an affair, and she's like, "Are you kidding? All I want to be is in a hotel room by myself watching a movie and drinking Fanta. Like that's all I care about." And that was kind of something else I got from traveling too, with some quality alone time.
I wouldn't be drinking Fanta. I would be having. Is it okay if I say, Rachelle, what I would be drinking? Champagne is fine. I will get some champagne.
Some champagne is fine. Lainie said you can say whiskey, for goodness sakes. You can say whiskey.
We're all grown-ups.
Funny.
That's right. So much fun.
Last year, Jen. Oh my gosh.
7 months pregnant, lady. Wow.
Yeah.
I miss traveling alone as well. Did a bit of family travel safely, but missed the educational travel. Definitely.
Facebook user number one.
Yeah, Facebook user. I love the educational circuit that we all have, but really it's just because I love the people. Like at this point, it's really for the people. That's my number one mission, is to meet people. And my second is to maybe find some classes that I want to learn from. It's terrible. It's the truth.
That's terrible.
Yes. Well, we are. Oh my gosh, we're getting close to our end, but we haven't, for the first time this year, I'm bringing it back because we had a few things we talked about earlier, but because you are here and you are a lemonade learner, we have to bring our sweet and sour back. Mm-hmm. So if you are watching, or if maybe this is your first time, we called it Rose and Thorn before Lainie and Bree came on a few months ago, but because they do lemonade learning, they have their sweet and sour. So the good and the not so great of what happened this week for you, or maybe this January, whatever. Let's talk about it. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm super tempted to turn this on Rachelle like she did when she was a guest on Lemonade Learning. we asked her, and she's like, I'm just going to turn this on you guys. And I was like, that's a pro move.
She said
Well
that.
done. Well done. Oh, yeah. She
Yeah.
turned that right around. Like, such a pro move. I was really impressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll go, if it's okay, because you gave me a little latitude there. I'm going to go even bigger than just January. And I'm just going to kind of go, since we were talking about Evolving Learner in the book, just the year, like the crazy 10 months that it's been since we went into the pandemic. It was really, it was really what put me into like connecting in ways with people that I hadn't before. Especially, I've been on Twitter since I think a month after it actually launched. I've been a long time Twitter person, but I really have been way more engaged. And I think I might have even told you guys this before, way more engaged in that community recently than I have in the last 10 months than I have any of the previous years. So, just like stuff like this is just my sweet, like getting to connect with you two, who I'm like, I don't really like to dwell on regrets, but I'm like, oh, how did I not have more time with Rachelle and Mel before the pandemic? And so
I know.
Nobody knew me before the pandemic.
You're so funny. You're so funny. That is not true. That is not true.
I'm pretty sure I knew
Rachelle
you.
did.
Otherwise, I was hanging out with some random woman that I didn't know in Nashville for like 4 days.
Would have been. I love what you said, and I agree. That has been a sweet spot for me too. Because I am a little bit more remote than y'all, and I'm just in Alaska, if you don't know. And so it's really a strange feeling of not being able to go to your neighboring country, which would be Canada. They don't want us there, and I don't blame them. But we can't just leave the state, and that gets that like plays with your head after a while. And so when the pandemic came, I started to do a lot of lives and broadcasts. That's been so much fun for me, and to be able to connect with more people, meet new people. We've met face to face. I consider us, friends and real life friends. That's my sweet. Yes. What about?
Did I have to give a sour? That's always. I always feel bad when people have to give a sour. But I know. Rachelle, what is your sour? No, I'm just kidding.
I just got excited. Facebook user is Dawn Wettrick. Awesome.
Yes. Hey, Dawn. And Jennifer says her sweet is my students did an amazing job on their novel projects. We did presentations virtually. That is really cool. That's really cool. Thanks for sharing, Jen. Wow. And Dawn, now you have to share your sweet and sour.
I know. Dawn had a great video. I'll have to find the link of like the work that he does with innovation with students. And one thing when I was thinking about like sweet, memories pop up and everything, like now you're like, oh, this time last year you were in London and you were having fun with your friends and it was great. And there was, oh wait, we found out about the pandemic. But I also have pictures from my, students in my classroom. And when we had started with project-based learning a couple of years ago, when I realized what PBL was and wasn't, and I was trying to help the students, and they were like really struggling with, what do we do? And we were looking at Genius Hour too. And I had been to Summer Spark, and Dawn was one of the keynotes there, and he has his book Pure Genius. And so, I started, and I read Launch by AJ Giuliani and John Spencer. And then I went to that school year, like, okay, we're gonna do PBL. I talked to my students, and they're like, but we don't know what to do. And speaking of Facebook, I sent Dawn a message on a Sunday night, and I said, hey, is there any chance that maybe I could get you to speak to my students sometime, like, at any point in time for like 5 minutes. And he's like, yeah, how about tomorrow at 10? I was like, all right, didn't see that one coming. And he talked to them the whole period. And so like I had pictures of them, interacting and talking, and it was just awesome. So it goes back to the whole power of connection and, being able to reach out and ask somebody for support and give your time and share what you're doing. And so I've always been so thankful for that. And, but it was really funny because, he was pushing their thinking like, well, if you take these random things, so having these connections and, being able to, support each other. So thank you, Dawn, for joining in. And my sweet is tied into that. It's just like, I'm so thankful for these connections and these spaces and opportunities to talk and see people and not feel like you're just, every day, same thing, and just like staying at home, or, you're not connected with the students, to have this tech, even though it can be consuming sometimes to be on the screen so much. But even today, I was like, I want to see Friday faces. I want to see all of you on the camera, and it better not be a ceiling fan. And then one of the kids like ceiling fan. I'm like, yep, there it is. All right. But it's all good. So that's my sweet. Those are my sweets.
Well, my sour, I did think of one. My sour would be, and I'm hoping it's a short-lived sour, and I feel like it's getting better. But when we first went into this crazy bananas time, I I've been involved with online learning for about 15 years through my district and then through other projects that I've worked on. And when we first went into emergency remote and people were slamming online learning, that was really hard for me and the community that is very protective of online learning and what that should be, what high quality online learning is all about. So that was like a bit rough for a lot of us, and I'm still kind of struggling with it. But I'm optimistic. I hear people talking about the benefits, like they're seeing some kids who maybe were really quiet in class, just totally sharing a ton when they're in online and asynchronous. And so I'm optimistic that when on the other side of this, people will see there is benefits to online learning, also have an appreciation that what we're doing right now is actually not online learning in the form that it's been researched, proven to be effective. This is different, but there are things that we can still do taking from those good practices. So I'm optimistic.
Yes. A lot of people share too. Is this Dawn? I'm not sure if this is Facebook user too.
Yeah,
okay.
It's Dawn. Facebook user one.
Run Innovate Within Pitch competition for Indiana. That is so cool. Reminds me of Tech Rabbi too. Can't go into the classrooms. Yeah. So that's good. And I know, Jennifer, when my kids are having a bad week, I know it throws me for a loop too. I am so blessed that we got to talk today. We have gone a little bit over our time, but it's been amazing to talk with both of you today and everybody who is, and I'm going to do you want me to drop this in the comments, Rachelle?
Yeah, you can.
Go ahead. Before I do my closing, go ahead and tell me what we're dropping in here.
It's if anybody wants to learn more about what Dawn had said about the Innovate Within, and that's the link to see what the pitch is. And I think it was last year, he had them on, like you could see it was streamed out live on Facebook, and just listening to these kids, I was just like blown away by what they were sharing and just like their presence, everything about them. So yeah.
I've been amazed by how many people, regardless of virtual or distance learning, like have been able to find ways to connect with their students. I mean, just amazing people, amazing educators. And so many of them are in our community. And Jennifer, we love that you joined us, and everybody who's joined us, whether it's our Facebook community, Twitter, YouTube, we appreciate you so much. Lainie, it is always a great time when you're around. Your smile, your beautiful mind, and just, I can't wait to talk with you about your book. I really don't forget. We're gonna exchange addresses because I can't wait to read your book and have it. I like signed copies. If you're out there and you want to, please. I love signed copies. Like those are my favorite collection right now. But we will. I'm sorry. Before we go, do y'all have any last words that you want to say to everybody?
Have a great weekend. Oh yes, I do. Monday night, big surprise, right? Monday night, Lainie is guest moderating the formative chat. So put that on your calendar for Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 30 minutes. It's going to be awesome.
Follow the hashtag formative chat.
Yep. We're going to put those questions out ahead of time, right? So for people
it'll start promoing tonight. I mean, this afternoon, today.
I love that. When you put the questions out ahead of time or do a slow chat, like that's my favorite.
Yeah.
I feel it's too hard for me to like figure it out in like a minute.
Yeah. And that's what kind of goes to sorry, I know we need to drop off, but that's what kind of goes to that like online asynchronous experience that some kids really thrive in, is that they have the time to process their thinking. And so I love that you put those questions out ahead of time. Thank you for doing that, Rachelle.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And if you're not already following Lainie on Twitter, make sure to follow her at Lainie Rowell and evolvinglearner.org and lemonadelearning.us. Give her a follow, and we'll see you again, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks, ladies. Thanks, everyone.